Good afternoon. Please give your attention to my associate, Agent J.
What kind of world do we live in where a normal, regular girl cannot find just a regular guy out here to date?
What do you mean by that?
I'm going to a guy's house, but I'm coming from a guy's house.
Huh?
But I'm coming from a guy's house, and I got his nectar on my pants.
What the fuck? What is wrong with you?
Why is it so difficult for you to ask us, any of us, on a date?
So a lot of guys nowadays think that they're the ones that are supposed to be taking her on dates.
He should definitely be holding your shopping bag. Going into a restaurant, he should definitely be opening the restaurant door for you.
When you go to a bar, who's supposed to buy women drinks? Men are.
What the does that even mean?
I'm old school, you know. I want a man that takes charge, opens doors for me, pulls out the seat for me.
I'm telling you, if you haven't woken up yet and realized that these women want you to be a man, but when you ask them to go make you a sandwich, it's a problem.
Yes, it's usually a one-way street of giving from the man to the woman. It's ironic, they behave like 304s, but expect the man to treat them like they are not a 304. If you were better, you would get commitment, wouldn't you?
The guy was walking along a beach and found a bottle. He picked it up. A magic genie popped out and said, "Thanks for letting me out. I will now grant you one wish." The guy said, "I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, but I can't because I'm afraid to fly and ships make me seasick. My wish is for you to build a highway that goes from California to Hawaii so I can drive." The genie scratched his head and said, "I'm sorry. I don't think I can do that. Just think of all the work involved. Think of the huge pilings that are needed. They go down almost a mile in the ocean. The amount of cement that's going to be used. The labor force. Gas stations every so many miles. I think that's just too much to ask. It's going to be an impossible job. So I need you to think of another wish." The guy thinks for a moment and says, "Well, there is one thing that I've always wanted to know. I want to be able to understand women. What makes them laugh? What makes them cry? Why they are so temperamental? Why are they so difficult to get along with? You know, what makes them tick?" The genie thinks for a second and then asks, "Do you want that highway with 2 lanes or 4 lanes?"
I appreciate what you do. I think you're great for men, but I got a question for you. You are not putting in the fact that not all men are great men, and
you
toxicity and dysfunction.
You pick them.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear how all men aren't great men. You pick who you let in your body. And you pick who you make a baby for. So I don't want to hear how bad they are. Because I'm sorry.
No,
I know too many. So what's the question? Not all men are great men. I want to talk about the men you women choose. I don't want to talk about anybody else other than men you women choose.
Absolutely. And not everybody ends as they began.
What?
That's the field I'm in.
So what's the
right?
question? What's the question?
So my question for you is, how do you add that variable into the advice that you're giving people?
How do I add what variable in? What's the variable?
That you have to have a 2-parent household and be married for somebody to somebody, and because that's what it should be.
This guy is fucking stupid.
That's what you're saying. That should be.
No. Yeah, I don't know what you think you just said, but I need you to ask. You asked me to answer a question. What variable are you asking me to add in?
The variable of toxicity, dysfunction.
Toxicity and dysfunction have no. Oh, look, ma'am.
Okay.
You're talking about the toxicity. You pick. You don't know how to pick. No, ma'am. Here's how you put that in. Okay. Relationships are reflected. If you pick toxic, whatever, then that's on you. It's your responsibility. You deal with the outcome. You don't blame him for being toxic. That's fair. That's what you picked. That's your problem.
That's fair.
Use your common sense.
I agree.
So I'm not going to add in the variable for over people over here. I'm going to say pick better. But see, picking better requires you to have a calibrated picker. Picking better requires you to actually have somebody helping you guide you and outside of your own feelings of what you want and subjective truths. Picking better requires picking stuff that's not atavistic, that he's hot, he's got a 6-pack, he got a big job. No, he's boring, he got a job and a 401k and potential. See, you ladies, women have known how to pick since the beginning of time. It's just in the last 50 years, you ladies have tried to pick based upon your feelings and what makes you happy, and it doesn't work. You pick the worst and you reproduce with them. See, the problem is not picking them in. The problem is reproducing with them, making children with them, and then throwing this chaos out into the community, and then asking men like myself and everybody else to address it later. Don't have their babies.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Have all you want to with toxic men. Don't make babies with them. Pretty simple.
Fair enough.
Especially not 1, 2, and 3 of them outside of marriage.
Gotcha, bitch.
And same goes for men as well. You can cry all day about how women are now, but you pick them. You get to pick them. And if you haven't learned how to pick them right, that's all on you.
What's the lowest amount of money a man should spend on a wedding ring for you guys?
500 grand, okay?
Okay.
We need a mother rock on this finger. A rock, you hear that? I don't care if you're broke as take your mama's life savings, take your life savings, take your grandma's life savings, and get me a rock.
No. This is a sickness! It is deviant, therefore we don't want it.
There is no price limit. Whatever I pick out, you're buying.
Here. Yes.
Women aren't even hymen holders anymore, and they're still expecting 500 racks for a wedding ring.
Imagine picking this type and complaining you don't have a good one. You know, just imagine. Come on, use your
imagination.
Women are the biggest romance killers in relationships, and most don't even know it. They wonder, where did the romance go, or why didn't the romance begin?
Just like a woman.
Problem is the lack of appreciation from women to men.
I may not always be right, but I'm never wrong.
Most women tend to focus on the negatives instead of the positives in relationships. Your boyfriend or husband does something nice. They bring you a coffee, they open your door, bring you flowers. Show him your appreciation, say thank you, give him a hug, give him a kiss, tell him that you love him. Don't just expect these things. As much as we want appreciation, men want it too. If he's not being romantic, maybe look inwards and see what it is that you're doing wrong. Because appreciating your man can go such a long way. That's what motivates them to want to do nice things for you. Are you constantly just nagging him and criticizing him instead of appreciating the nice things that he does for you? Are you trying to also fulfill his love language? Are you giving him what he requires in a relationship? Something's very small, like going up to him and giving him a long hug, giving him a massage, doing like cute little things like that, like things that he will appreciate, can go a long way, and that will make him actually want to do nice things for you. So if you're wondering why he's romantic with the next girl and wasn't with you, the problem wasn't him, it was you. Romance isn't one-sided, and it shouldn't just be expected from men. Give them something to work with.
Now imagine picking this type of woman and the experiences you both have. You're focused on the wrong type of woman. Now choose.
We just had our traditional marriage and my fiancé wants us to start having sex. And I refused.
What?
We just had our traditional marriage and my fiancé wants us to start having sex. And I refused. And he's angry, but our white wedding is still in view and I don't think it's proper because I'm a Christian.
You don't think it's proper to have sex?
Before our church wedding.
After your traditional wedding?
Yes. The wedding process is still halfway.
So your husband is half husband?
Because the wedding process is still halfway gone.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
Okay, I've not had this before. So I've only heard of half brothers, half sisters. I've not heard of half husbands. So until you now do the wedding in church, that's when you have a full husband.
When we are completely married, I'm not saying he's full or half.
Stop the cap. If you have sex after you have done your traditional wedding, is it fornication?
When our church wedding is still in view, yes. Because
Why?
Marriage is honorable.
Okay, so there's no honor in the process of your traditional wedding. It does not have honor.
No, not that. But what I'm saying is we are not completely married, and so sex is just totally.
What is wrong with you?
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
I don't understand why you feel that your own traditional marriage is not complete if you have not done the white wedding. Now, why do you today feel that traditional wedding is not complete because you have not done white wedding? Why?
And what do you have to say for yourself?
You know what? You always get what you pick. He chose one who can't even reason and needs another man on TikTok to explain something so simple to her. He's gonna have a hard time with this one.
You know how we always talk about how
Women oftentimes in relationships still want to dress half naked and seductive, and that man is often saying, put some clothes on, and she's like, you met me dressed like this, I should be able to, you know, they pull that stunt, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the Keke Palmer type thing.
Yeah.
Be gone, sucks! I always say, if I had a woman that did that, right? And I can say, I don't like what you have on, I'm uncomfortable with it, can you put on a little bit more clothes? I don't want to have to fight no dudes off with no stick. I don't want every dude ogling you when you walk by, can you put something else on?
Yes.
If she says no to me, and she says I have autonomy, I got freedom of body, then so do I. Wear what you want, and I'm gonna look where I want.
Oh, damn.
She wouldn't like that. So if we're walking and holding hands, and some girl walk by that I like, and I...
Oh,
my neck looking
broke.
at her, now all of a sudden, she'll understand where we're coming from.
Yeah.
You see, because if you can walk out here and have all these men looking at you, why can't I look wherever I want to look? See, I'm gonna be professional, respectful, and you're not gonna find me staring at other women and looking at them. You know? And so my conversation would be, if you don't put something on, we can go out, but I'm going to look at women how I want to look at them, as long as I want to look at them. And when I do, I'm going to lick my lips and everything.
Wait, do you...
It's important not to judge a book by its cover, because not everything is as it appears. You know, sometimes you have to flip the book to see what's inside, yeah? But at the same time, you know what I notice about some women is that some women expect for a man to love her unconditionally, but she wants to love this man under conditions. What this man can do for her, how much he can provide, how much money he make, where he work, what type of job he doing. But this man is supposed to accept you with open arms. Baby, you have yet to heal from childhood trauma. Your mama and your daddy failed you. You still have abandonment issues, baby. You insecure with yourself because you sitting here comparing yourself to this girl on social media. You don't even like the way that you look, but this man is supposed to accept you and love you unconditionally. Have you checked on that man's mental health? Have you called him and asked him, is he okay? Did you tell him that he was a king? Did you make him feel like that? And a lot of women say it's not my job to shape and mold. And man, that may not be your job, but it ain't your job to damn sure as hell stress that man out. But he gotta love you unconditionally and take you and your badass kids. I'm sorry. Call me back.
There's so many different types of them out there. But there's only one type that's worth committing to. And it's the one that was raised to be a wife.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.